This character is actually, he's two characters at once. So that's what was really fun is I got to explore, two versions of the same man. I think there's lots of different, the spy genre tends to be kind of linear in terms of characters.
A lot of it was throwing caution to the wind, trying to do something that subverted expectations, that took a genre that we love so greatly, which is the spy genre, and try and turn it on its head.
There has to be a little humor in everything, I think, but there's a wonderful depth to the piece too.
This is without question one of the most ambitious things I've ever worked on, but also the most rewarding for that reason.
And of course the action is extraordinary.
Who you were was a myth. Who you were was Citadel, a spy agency loyal to no nation.
This series is absolutely sensational. I loved it and was blown away by it. Both of you are fantastic in it. And to start, Richard, there's been rumors for a while now bandying your name around being, could he be the next James Bond? And after seeing this, why would you need to be James Bond when you get to originate such an awesome character as this? Like, how did it feel playing this character?
I think they're very different beasts. This character is actually, he's two characters at once. So that's what was really fun is I got to explore, two versions of the same man. I think there's lots of different, the spy genre tends to be kind of linear in terms of characters. And here we get to jump through timelines, time zones. And I got to jump between two different versions of the same man, kind of separate them out and push them both in all of their qualities. And that's kind of what made it fun, is this show is a full drama and a full action thriller simultaneously.
I was in a train. There was an explosion. I couldn't remember anything except you.
I got to say that the first 15 minutes of this series have to be the best opening of any show that I've ever seen. It is just,
wow, that's awesome.
I mean, it's a high bar.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It feels like Mission Impossible crossed with The Long Kiss Goodnight, and it's just this nonstop. But what's great is it feels very lived in. It doesn't feel like we have to learn on the fly, but I guess that's a big undertaking to kind of build something that feels that real. David, how did you even start approaching building how the series was going to kick off?
Oh my gosh. A lot of it was throwing caution to the wind, trying to do something that subverted expectations, that took a genre that we love so greatly, which is the spy genre, and try and turn it on its head. But those first 15 minutes begin with these two, delicious, seductive characters in Mason Kane and Nadia Singh. And so it was just fun to sort of view the first 15 minutes as a microcosm for what the entire series will be. It's almost like a symphony, right? We want these two actors to play all these different parts. There's the seduction, there are the quiet moments, then there's the incredibly explosive action storytelling. So we tried to throw it all, at the audience in those first 15 to give them a taste of what's to come.
You're a spy, like me.
If you touch me, I'm gonna scream.
Catch.
Did you just throw a knife at me?
I thought you were gonna catch it.
And Stanley, for you, I mean, you've been in so many great projects over the years, and you just look like you're having an absolute blast in this. You get to be funny. You get to actually get to take part in the action. How did it feel playing Bernard?
It's so much fun. When I read it, the character is very complex, and there was that humor there, which was great, which we sort of brought out a little bit more as we were. I brought out, yeah.
Stanley brought brilliant humor to it. He's this tech geek, but you made him very funny.
There has to be a little humor in everything, I think, but there's a wonderful depth to the piece too, and of course the action is extraordinary. And that was the great thing about working with the Russo brothers, is that they know how to do that stuff better than anybody. I don't mean just the action, but they have a real understanding of human the behavior and the nuances necessary, and to make something real. But also they have a great sense of humor. They have one sense of humor. I made it sound like they're just one. Those brothers have one great sense of humor.
They just share one, yeah.
They share everything, yeah.
this is an ambitious series. It's huge, and with so much scale and things going on, when you take part in a film or even a franchise of films, there's something that you know what you're getting into ahead. Did you know that you were getting involved in something that could be a multi-year commitment with a lot of scale to it?
Yeah.
Stanley, we can start with you on that.
Oh, with me? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't so sure about that. I had no idea. But now I do. And I'm happy about it. I'm glad of it.
And Richard, I mean, you've jumped into the Marvel world and things like that. Is this something that you know kind of what you're getting into to say, well, hey, I could be involved in this for the next 3-4 years or longer?
Yeah, the first meeting I had with Joe and Anthony was about creating something that was going to be this world-spanning show, and we have the India version mid-shoot, and Italy's wrapped already. And that was what was really appealing to me, was these multiple characters over multiple hours of television, where we get this time to tell a story. So I knew it was going to be, and now even more so since we've worked on it and developed it and pushed forwards. I feel like we're just at the beginning. So I'm hopeful we're going to get another couple of seasons out of it at least, so that we can really delve into this world. And, you know, we managed to trick Stanley into doing one season. Now we've got him, and we're not going to let him go.
And, you know, to that point, like when you work on films, especially big budget studio pictures, there's a lot of scale to it. Did this feel on par with a film production, or did this feel any different being a television series?
No, this felt bigger than, I've done a lot of big movies. This felt as big, if not bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I loved it. I cannot wait to see this go on. I know fans are going to go nuts for this. Both of you are fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today.
You need to remember the past to save the future.
And it absolutely works. And I love that, you know, once the credits roll and then it kind of shifts into everything that changes for the character, it's still engaging. You've got all these new characters, you're following everything. Stanley Tucci is awesome in this. And Joe, for you, I mean, with all of the scale and things that you've worked with, this is an ambitious project. Was this something that you knew was going to be something that clicked right away, or how did this feel for you?
No, I mean, this is probably the hardest thing that we've worked on. Remember, Marvel is based on pre-existing IP. This is not. This is a brand new original story, built brick by brick from the ground up. Every detail, every nuance, all the characters, everything is brand new. And that takes time and effort. And on top of that, we threw in this idea that, hey, we're going to make a US language flagship show, but also at the same time, we're going to make an Italian show with an incredible team of artists from Italy, and an Indian show with an incredible team of artists from India. And we're going to do it all at once, and everyone's going to contribute. And it's going to be an incredible collective of artists working together. This is without question one of the most ambitious things I've ever worked on, but also the most rewarding for that reason.
And when you're dealing with something that's that ambitious and kind of drawing those comparisons to Marvel, there's always those pieces that come together in a whole. Is this something that was planned out from the outset for an end game of where this is going to go, bringing everything together?
Well, it's always good to have a destination to sort of run toward, but our philosophy is always to keep that open-ended, right? Because we discover so much along the way, and particularly in working with creatives from India, from Italy, and around the world, part of our job and the thing that is most exciting is learning from them and keeping our, listening to them, keeping our ears and minds open. So every week or every other week, we get together with the creatives all around the world. We have this big global writer's room, so to speak, and we kick around ideas, for futures and histories and pasts and presents of these characters. However, we certainly do have a very robust plan and mythology that is quite dense. It's been years in the making, the show. So we really do know sort of where we're heading, but who knows? And by the way, the audience experience is so vital to us, right? What they relate to, what excites them. So I know for me, I'm all over Twitter and Reddit, and I love hearing the reaction and the response. And that's always such a wonderful way to sort of keep ideating on potential future seasons, if there may be.
And I got to say that just based on what I've seen, the bar has been raised with this. It changes for what I've seen from television, regardless of the scale of things like Lord of the Rings and all of that. This is just going to be a huge hit. I can feel it already. And congratulations to the both of you. Thank you so much for your time today.
From your mouth to the audience's ears.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Are you ready?